If you ever feel like your husband's shut you out and you're the only one trying to reconnect, and now part of you wonders if it's even worth it anymore, you're not alone. After you've been stonewalled, it's so easy to get stuck in hurt and distance. But if you don't find a way to rebuild your connection fast, the disconnection only grows. So in this video, I'll share 5 proven ways to reconnect with your husband so you can finally feel safe, close, and understood again. Reconnecting after being stonewalled is one of the hardest things to do as a woman. You may think to yourself, I've been shut out for so long, I don't even want to open up anymore. I feel so hurt over what he's done, ignoring me for the past few days or months. I did not deserve this kind of mistreatment. I did not deserve to feel this rejected and unimportant. And this is exactly where people get stuck, in hurt, distance, and just feeling more resentful. So as a first step to reconnect, you need to first acknowledge what's happened. Because if stonewalling isn't acknowledged, it's going to lead to this huge resentment in your relationship. And as your resentment grows, you start to feel more distant from your partner. You can start acknowledging what's taken place in your relationship by using these sentences. You have to start the dialogue with something like this. I need you to acknowledge how this hurt me so I can forgive and move forward. Because in reality, you can't pretend nothing's happened. There is an injury that needs to be acknowledged. And you can add to that, and by the way, when you acknowledge the hurt, I'm also open to hearing your side of the story. I'm willing to hear if I've hurt you in any way and if you have any grievances. When you open your dialogue like this, it makes both of you feel emotionally safe to have a tough conversation while letting your guards down. And here's a tool that's unbelievably powerful. And it's something we encourage couples to do when we start couples therapy with them. Don't text, don't have arguments, write letters. In your letter, as a person who's been stonewalled, you can share with your partner the impact of stonewalling on you, what it's done to you over time emotionally. Of course, you're going to write this in a non-blaming way. For example, every time you shut down and don't talk to me, I feel very ignored and hurt. So you basically use I statements to share your feelings. So this is a non-blaming way where you're actually sharing your inner world with your partner. If you want to learn more about how to communicate effectively using I statements, I have a video right on this video that you can click where it teaches you how to use effective communication skills to stop an argument. In his letter, he's going to start with taking accountability for what he's done and basically expressing himself in a way that shows you he understands how the silent treatment has negatively affected you. When he sees the impact of what he's done clearly and calmly, you can repair your relationship so much faster. But please do this at a time that you both feel good and regulated. Like you're not annoyed, frustrated, or emotionally heightened, because that's going to backfire. Meaning you're not going to do this during an argument with each other. And you also have to understand at the end, once he's apologized, what's been under his emotional shutdown, what hurt feelings lie there. All of this together sets the stage for reconciliation and repair versus both of you getting defensive and invalidating each other's experiences. I want to warn you, if you don't do this step, resentment is going to build up in your relationship and you're going to end up hating each other over time. You're going to emotionally withdraw and just feel so disconnected. So really do what it takes to have a proper dialogue about what's taken place. And apologize and repair. Do not silence yourself or avoid it and feel like now we're having a good time and I'm just going to let this one pass. No, that resentment is going to sit there somewhere in your system and it's going to stop you from connecting to your husband. And one way it's going to show up is you're going to have low intimacy, low sexual intimacy, low emotional intimacy over time. Now tell me one thing, are you one of those people where when you get stonewalled, do you avoid talking about it or ignore it, or you try to have a conversation about it? In the comments below, tell me if you're an avoidant or you are someone who shares their hurt and wants to feel validated. By the way, if stonewalling is starting to feel like a real pattern in your marriage, you absolutely need to take my relationship test. This test is completely free and shows you whether your relationship is set up for success. It tells you which areas of your relationship are strong, which ones are weaker because of patterns like stonewalling, and where the emotional bond and emotional safety has been damaged, so you can start fixing your relationship and repairing it right away. Most couples I see have no idea what's happening in their relationship. They're just guessing. And when you guess, you almost always focus on the wrong thing. And this test takes that confusion away. If you have any questions about your results after you take the test and you're feeling like, I just need more support figuring this out for my relationship and what it means, for a short period of time, I'm offering a 50-minute free call where we can sit down, have a chat, and I can look at your test results and tell you what your next step should be. You can download the test right in the description below this video, or you can go to my website, parisacounselling.com/relationship test to download it now. The other thing I want you to do to reconnect after a period of stonewalling is to compartmentalize. This may sound odd, but I'll tell you in a minute what I mean. One of the quickest ways couples get stuck in disconnect after stonewalling is this. You turn every conversation about what he's done wrong and how he hurt you. This can come in random moments during a different argument. You may bring up the past, or he says something, he upsets you, and you bring up that hurt again. Of course, in a blaming way. The reality is you're trying to reconnect to him in the moment, but your nervous system keeps pulling you back into the past. And the more you do this, the more you bring up this hurt, the more likely it is that your partner will become distant because he's going to feel blamed. Especially if this blame and you being critical over past hurts comes out of nowhere. And at some point, this cycle is going to take over your relationship and is not going to be of any help. So here's what I teach all of my clients. Decide together as a couple that we're going to have 5 good days together where we don't talk about the issues and the past hurt. We're just going to focus on connecting with each other. Cook together, take a walk out together, doing activities that we enjoy, and we're not going to bring up what's happened. This is the 5 days you focus on reconnecting, not rehashing old things. Basically 5 days where you're filling up your emotional savings bank. You have small rituals like morning coffee. You have moments of playfulness, even a 20-second moment of connection like kissing your partner, hugging them, a soft tone or a playful tone, or just emotionally checking in with them. Then pick one day, 1 hour, like Friday at 7 p.m. That's the time that you're actually going to process your issues or problems. That's when you revisit what actually took place during the stonewalling or the last argument. So you're not going to do this every day. You're going to be mindful of when you're bringing this up. You're not fighting about it every night. Even in small moments where that feeling gets triggered, that hurt gets triggered, you're not going to bring it up. You're going to put it aside and compartmentalize and say to yourself, we're going to talk about this Friday. What this is doing is actually you're using this structure to build emotional safety for both of you. This calms both of your nervous systems. It limits you wanting to kind of ruminate about things. It builds your connection faster. It prevents your relationship to drown in just more arguments and conflict. And also you're working as a team to tackle this issue. So both of you know Friday night, 7 p.m. is the time we talk about our past grievances or past hurts. So I want to be clear, this is not avoidance. Here you're compartmentalizing with the intention of repairing. Next, to reconnect after being stonewalled, I want you to think about his positive traits. Now, I'm not negating that stonewalling is very painful and hurtful. No one deserves to be treated like that, and it should be eliminated from all relationships. But I want you to reframe and know that this is just one behavior, and it doesn't encompass all of your relationship. Because if the whole relationship was bad, you wouldn't still be in it. And I hope in your case, this is the way your husband copes with his overwhelm and feeling flooded. If that's the case, that's just the way he's learned to cope. It's not who he is as a person. Like, he's not a malicious, controlling person. So when you're trying to reconnect, ask yourself this. What were the 3 things you loved about him when you guys first met? And write it down on a piece of paper. It just activates those positive feelings again for you. Maybe it was his patience, his loyalty, his humor, his drive, the way he cares for your family. And then every single day, ask yourself, what is the one thing he did today that I really appreciated? It could be tiny. He made you tea, he made lunches for the kids, he touched your shoulder as he walked away, he stayed calm, he washed the dishes. Notice that and even write it down or say it out loud, or maybe even you can share it with him. Because when you vocalize appreciation, the positive energy in your relationship increases. Your emotional savings bank builds. your nervous system softens. And when you're grounded and less reactive, arguments don't arise as much, and if they do, you guys are able to resolve them faster because you know you've got each other's back. The emotional bond is secure and safe. The next thing I want you to do is, this is almost like a favor. I almost beg you not to emotionally withdraw and withhold. Here's the part that women often miss. When you're hurt, it's natural to pull away. It's protective. So I don't blame you if you're doing that. But your withdrawal, whether physically or emotionally, will deepen your disconnection, will make you feel more and more distant. Unless the situation is emotionally abusive or in general abusive, try not to shut down intimacy during repair. Sometimes this is just what your relationship needs. Accepting his invitation to sit together and have tea. Because you know afterwards you'll feel better. You won't feel the same as you were feeling just before you take that action. So don't close yourself off. I'm going to give you a few other examples of how you can give a chance to the connection again. Softening your tone could help. Letting him hug you will help. Sharing a soft or vulnerable feeling can help. Even allowing yourself to enjoy a moment with him if you feel like it. Sometimes also when people are sexually intimate, even if they're not getting along, that activates some positive feelings. You may not be good at communicating, but sex and intimacy can be one way you guys are communicating that you long for each other, that you miss each other, and you want to reconnect. And after these acts, you can ask yourself, did that shift anything for me? You can just check in with yourself. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. But if there's something positive building up, keep with it. Because often one act of vulnerability resets the whole emotional tone of your relationship. Now, I'm curious, when he shuts down or stonewalls you, what do you actually do? What's your behavioral tendency? Do you withdraw, or do you start chasing him and pursuing him to talk with him and get yourself feel hurt? Type chase or withdraw in the comments. I want to hear from you. Reconnecting is the first step, but rebuilding real trust and safety takes more. If you don't repair the rupture stonewalling has caused in your relationship, you'll always be afraid of when the next shutdown will happen. The good news is you can change that. I'm going to walk you through exactly how to bring back safety and lasting connection in your marriage in the video on your screen now. Click to watch now.